everyone, it's Gibby. If you're watching this video, like me, you're probably in quarantine. It's a crazy time we're in, and I'm sure you've heard enough about the coronavirus already, so my goal with this video is to remain positive and tell you how you can stay creative while in quarantine. A lot of us artists are introverts, and painting or doing art at home is basically what's normal for us. However, I think whether we realize it or not, we still need to go outside and find inspiration, and running errands can oftentimes bring us the energy and the motivation we need to start our paintings. If you're an extrovert and you're watching this video, I'm sure that's even more important to you. I can't even imagine being an extrovert in a time like this. Anyways, there's a lot of great ways to stay productive and find inspiration. So, you're stuck at home and you're an artist, or maybe you're thinking about starting out and you're a beginner. The first thing you should do is come up with some realistic goals for yourself. Maybe you want to start drawing one drawing a day, or maybe you want to complete 3 paintings in a week. Either way, you know your limits, so don't overwhelm yourself here. The first week that I had to start staying home, I pulled out every single unfinished painting I had in my closet, and I decided that I was going to complete all of them. And I very quickly realized that that was just too overwhelming, and I was putting an incredible amount of pressure on myself, and that was just not good. And I actually ended up not finishing anything, so that just is not a good way to start. So once you have your realistic goal set in mind, the next thing you want to do is create 2 checklists for yourself. One is a checklist that's going to be your daily checklist, so this may change from day to day. And then your second checklist is going to be your weekly checklist. So these are your overarching goals that you want to accomplish in the entire week. So you take your checklist for the week, and then you categorize it into each day and figure out what can I accomplish in each day that will help me achieve my weekly checklist. That sounds kind of complicated, but really it can look like, for example, say I want to complete, 2 paintings a week. My first, Monday, my checklist may be researching what painting I want to do, creating a sketch for that painting, and then also drawing it out on the canvas. That could be my checklist for day 1. And then my checklist for day 2 could be, getting the initial groundwork of that painting done, and then also coming up with my idea for the second painting. So you also want to have these checklists or to-do lists somewhere where you're going to see them all the time. So I have mine next to my calendar, and that's something that I look at a couple times throughout the day. So that helps me to remind myself what my overarching goal is, and then also what my checklist is for the day. And it's also very exciting whenever you get to check off something when you've completed it. It's just, oh my gosh, it's the most satisfying feeling. So, the next thing I want to talk about is Pinterest is your best friend. I mean, if you're an artist, hopefully you're already on Pinterest, because it's just a whirlpool of ideas and so many ways you can brainstorm and get creative. So I usually spend a good 20 to 30 minutes a day probably on Pinterest, just looking at things, brainstorming, coming up with ideas. And this is a really great way to stay motivated, at least it has for me in the past, because I look at Pinterest and I see what other artists are doing, and it inspires me to come up with new ideas and stay creative. I definitely think in a time like this where maybe you can't go outside, or you can't, go to an art museum or stay motivated in that way, Pinterest is such a great place for that. The next thing that I believe will help you to stay productive and stay creative is limiting how much time you're watching TV or watching Netflix, Hulu, etc. I know we all want to binge watch The Tiger King and understand what the heck is going on with this trend, but truly, is that helping you reach your goals? Probably not. So, limit how much time you're on Hulu, Netflix, whatever, and I promise you this will help tremendously. Now, also, when I say limiting your time to TV, I don't mean sit on the couch and play on your phone and do games on your phone or something like that. I also just downloaded this fish game some type of aquarium fish game, and it's a problem for me. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to stay motivated because I keep playing this fish game, and I told myself I wasn't going to watch TV, and here I am. So delete the app, delete the Netflix app, whatever you have to do, and, dedicate that time to art instead. Okay, but in all reality, you can watch some Netflix. I'm not telling you, I'm not trying to give you a lecture. Just limit it. And then also, if you have some extra time and you're struggling to stay motivated, I find that getting up and doing some basic chores or activities is extremely motivating because you can get up and clean or do your laundry, and just the act of getting up and completing a task, at least for me, is something that really helps me to get my mind flowing and help me get in the right frame of mindset in order to sit down and draw or do what I need to do. And you can also include these things in your daily task list. I talked about earlier the daily checklist and then the weekly checklist. Include these things on your daily checklist. That way, whenever you do finish, maybe you're drawing for the day, you can remain motivated by spending, 20 minutes doing laundry or cleaning or, doing a light yoga exercise or something like that. Something to keep yourself motivated, because I honestly feel that the moment you sit down on your couch and you start playing with your phone or you start watching Netflix is the moment that you completely start to procrastinate and basically just, all hell breaks loose. I also hear so many people say all the time, wow, I have no time to do art, or I have no time to read books, or yada yada yada. Well, the coronavirus hit, and let me tell you, you have time now. Unless you have some crazy job that is controlling your life because of whatnot. Most people have a lot more time these days than they would have ever expected. And for some of us, that's good. For some of us, that's bad. But for all of us who have said, whenever I had free time, I wish I could do this. Now's the time. Let's take that time and really utilize it and do as much as we can do. So you may be asking me, Gibby, you said create a checklist, you said Pinterest, whatever, but what does that really look like? What does a day look like? Or how do you really even get started? And I can tell you that. So, first things first, once you have your realistic goals in mind and you have your daily checklist and your weekly checklist, the first thing you want to do is pick which project you want to start with, obviously. I'm going to use illustration as an example because I'm doing illustration in this video. If I'm working on an illustration, I usually allow myself 2 to 3 hours of uninterrupted time, so I don't schedule any FaceTimes with friends, or basically I just don't schedule anything for a good 3 hours. That way I know that I have all of that time to do everything that I want to do. And usually that's more than enough time. I mean, this video I'm doing right now, the illustration only took me maybe 30 minutes in real time. So when I decided that I was going to do an illustration, I went on Pinterest and I spent a good 20 minutes, in addition to that 30 minutes that I did the video and everything. I spent 20 minutes on Pinterest just looking up ideas, brainstorming. I look up, photo references of people in different positions. I look up other illustrators and see, what color schemes are they using? What's trending right now? What things are in the foreground, the background that make that illustration pop or elevate itself. So then once I have a general idea of kind of what I want to do, I combine, those photos, I combine my ideas, reference, color schemes, all of that. I combine it all into a rough sketch, which is basically what you saw at the beginning of this video. I just didn't include all the time I spent looking up everything on Pinterest. And then sometimes it takes me several rounds of creating different sketches to figure out what I really want to do, or, the exact angle or positioning of the head, the body, what's in the foreground, what details, what color sweater is she going to wear. Sometimes I change all of those things in the sketch before I even get started. And then, of course, after that, I just go. I mean, that's basically what you're seeing in this video, is me just drawing away. I think now more than ever, this is such a great time to really hone in on the skills that you've been having a desire to use. And maybe you've been interested in acrylic painting or watercolor painting or cross stitching or some other really fun artistic hobby. Now is the time to do it. You have the time, you have the capabilities. YouTube is such an endless source of information if you're trying to pick up something new. I also have another video on my channel that's a tutorial for an acrylic painting if you want to learn how to do that. That'd be super fun. There's so many great things that you can be doing right now. I mean, my husband and I, we're also super nerdy and we're doing lots of puzzles. We're working on a Harry Potter puzzle right now, which is so weird, but also just so much fun. And I love doing that with him so much. You can also do coloring books. I know they actually make adult coloring books, which they sell at Target, and Target is still open. So there's that. I will say also, if you're interested in doing a puzzle and you don't own a puzzle, good luck to you. I went to Target, Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, everything's sold out, and I ended up exchanging a puzzle with a friend 6 feet away so that we don't touch each other, and did this really awkward puzzle exchange. It was pretty awesome. That's how I got the Harry Potter puzzle. However, besides that, the main thing that I want to reiterate to you is just to stay safe, stay home, be productive, and the way you can truly be productive is just to fill up your to-do list. Have tons of things on your schedule that you can do at any point of the day that will help you get up off your feet, do something proactive, do something that will benefit you as an artist or help you get started as an artist, and you will see the fruits of your labor, I promise you. I hope that this video inspired you to stay productive, have fun, learn or hone a new skill, and to stay motivated as an artist. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe, and I hope that you can find some sanity in life right now. I'll be praying for you. Bye. Stay safe.